All right, today we're gabbing with Angie K from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Angie has really cemented herself as an integral member of this show, and it's been really fun to watch her rise throughout this. Angie, we just said this. I'm so excited that we finally have some official time together after, a season, 2 seasons of you being on this show. How are you?
I am great. Even better now, like you said, that I've cemented myself in. I'm not fighting for my life. I'm not being blindsided. No one's trying to ice me out. I have really solid friendships on the cast, and I love it. And I think I'm here to stay. And I'm having a I had a lot of fun last season. It was a whole new experience.
Good. Well, you're also center snowflake this season. So what was your reaction to that?
Well, let's just say I cried and I was in complete shock. I wasn't expecting it. I really feel like it's an honor because I'm a hard worker, all
It
things
is.
in my life. I had a rough start on the show. I think, I had a rough come on. I was resilient though. I stood up for myself. I was my authentic self. And apparently, good karma comes out and the cream rises to the top. And I'm honored because I know like it's an incredible cast, so that makes me even more so honored. I did cry. I don't take it lightly. I think I had
Yeah.
a great season, and it feels so good, so thank you.
Good. I mean that's a position that like it might seem, I think, to an outsider like a it's something you can just brush off. Like that actually it means something. I really do think that. And so you should feel good about that.
Thank you. And I mean, I'm humbled. Like I'm for me, I never become, like overly confident or, I'm so grateful for it. And, I hope that I make the fans proud. I think it's a 180 from where I started. So that's even more amazing.
Yeah, and
Everything else in my life, I have had to work hard for everything. I'm self-made, and I think I had to work really hard for this center snowflake.
totally. And I also think that like even just you as a cast and the show, you're coming off such a landmark season and such a, explosive moment at the end of last season. And it broke through in the zeitgeist in a way that Housewives does only every so often. You guys were all part of that. And I'm curious because there's obviously a contingent of fans who one wanted Monica back and two were like, how could they possibly follow this up? So as somebody who was returning as a full-time cast member, were you ever like, how are we going to follow this up?
Absolutely not. And I say that like, yes, it was a great season, but it was very dark season. And I'm a business owner. Like I want to work in a safe, healthy environment so that I can be my authentic self. And I think we all want to show up to work loving our job and loving who we work with and who we work for and what we're doing. And I think we've seen where shows that, can go dark and toxic that
Yeah.
they can't sustain themselves. And I think for Salt Lake City, had we continued on that trajectory, we would be no longer. So the show is it's a reality show, which means it's about real friendships, organic friendships. And I don't, it's this our friendships are real, and I think we're still bringing it regardless. We have another incredible
Oh yeah.
season, and I think people again, have to love who they work with, and we. We love each other, not all of us, but for the most part, it's still a great season to me. It may be our best season from what I'm hearing. And we still have an all-star cast. And the cool part about it is the season is focused on all the ladies and
Good.
everyone is clocked in.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I said that after the premiere 10 out of 10. Like I wasn't somebody who was in that sort of worrying camp about like your ability to bring it as a cast. Like I think that was always evident. And so I thought the premiere was amazing, and we start off with a great moment where you and Mary enter the event together, arm in arm, and it's just, I mean, it's a classic moment. I think just watching that entrance, and I love the idea that Mary did a 180 on you, Angie, because you told her that she had lipstick on her teeth at the reunion. Do you really think that that is what changed her perception of you?
Well, I've watched the scene multiple times because it cracks me up. When they ask her about me and her face lights up, it just
Yeah.
cracks me up. And she did tell me it was not the lipstick moment.
Okay.
She said she just liked me and that she felt I was a good person and I was wholesome. And she said, I don't know when it happened, but it happened. But she said it was not the lipstick moment.
it's funny because in the reunion it does kind of feel like she just sort of flipped in a
Oh,
positive
yeah.
way. So whatever it was.
She did say none of the other ladies would have told me there was lipstick on my teeth. So thank you. So I do believe it had a little something to do with it. And it was just sort of the beginning. And I think we've been able to just see each other for who we are and
Yeah.
organically become friends. I love the friendships that are real and organic. And, we didn't have an enemy in common. We weren't aligning for any reason that was calculated. It just happened off camera, and we just had some really funny moments, and we both love to laugh. We're both funny people. I think just we're known for being funny, and that's where we just connect.
Yeah, and I think it's making sense so far. I've seen the first two episodes, and it's like it's and it feels real. I don't think it feels like an alliance of anything, because I also think that, like, again, you could sort of look at it from the top down and be like, okay, well, you and Mary have gotten close, and then this season we'll see Meredith and Mary kind of fall out. But those are happening at different times, it seems like. So
Yes.
those are not connected.
Yes, and I want to be clear about that. Like, even when last season with Lisa, I always support everyone moving on and having friendships, and I don't ever want to intervene in those friendships because we're a group of friends. So I obviously had nothing to do with that fallout, and I don't try and sway people's opinions, or I don't whisper negative things or work in the dark against other people on or off camera. I don't do that. I want people to be able to think what they want, say what they want, and feel how they want. That's a real friendship, and I think that also makes for a long-lasting friendship when people can be themselves and do what they want. So I never would want to control anyone's feelings about someone else.
Totally, totally. And another part of the reunion, Angie, that was a standout moment was the scroll. And okay, so the scroll, I feel like it was mostly taken well, maybe a little divisive, like in the ether, but like I thought it was a great cheeky moment for a premiere episode. You know what I mean? It was I think it was well done. What did you make of Heather and Mary being like, you had too much time on your hands to make this?
Oh, I thought it was funny. I mean, the scroll in itself was funny, but to me, their confessionals made it even funnier,
Yeah,
and their perception of the scroll and the shock factor behind the fact that I would pull out a scroll was so funny, and it cracked me up. Then, my mind's always working and thinking of funny stuff when I lay in bed when it actually gets quiet, which is rare. But it's like, there I was. I ordered it off Amazon. I grabbed a Sharpie. It didn't take me long to make. And so there really wasn't a lot of time put into it. But, look, it's all about being light and funny and, proving a point in a funny way. Like, you
100%.
want apologies? I'm willing to give them because I'm always willing to own my stuff. But first, there's a few things that I wanted an apology for.
There we go. And
Here they are. She didn't love it. She didn't love it.
no, she didn't love it. I feel like you probably knew that she would love it. But you know what? I feel like I guess obviously things have been said on either side from you and Meredith's relationship. And I'm curious from your perspective, like why it just feels like there's no hope for you guys to ever sort of see eye to eye or sort of have a breakthrough moment of any sort.
I don't know, Gib, and I'll be honest because like her husband's a funny guy. And so I
Yeah.
thought like she's got to have a sense of humor, right? Like somewhere in there. And, we're different personalities. I feel truly, and you know what? I'm going to leave it to the audience this season because everyone has a different view. I guess everyone will have to watch and see
Sure.
where it goes. But I feel like I tried. I feel like my husband tried. I feel like we had hopes for a resolution, and it's more of the same. So, I went in with good intentions, and, I didn't get the outcome I wanted, but I'm also at peace that, I can't be friends with everyone on the cast, and
Yeah.
I did my best. And I know that I get along with everyone, like all kinds of people. I'm a people person. I work in the service industry, and I have never had a problem making friends. This is just one friendship that I can't make the breakthrough. And I think I've invested enough time, and it's okay that she doesn't like me. I heard she didn't like me before I came on, and I knew nothing about her to make a judgment, but I think we have to look at like a new cast member as like, giving them a chance and giving them
Sure.
grace and getting to know them. And I didn't feel that from her. So, Mary told me, she goes, you know what, you're in the center snowflake, but they put you there. Like, I didn't want to be attacked. I didn't want to like have to defend myself and defend my family, but it just happened. And here I am.
Do you have any inkling of why you think Meredith doesn't like you? Like you said that you heard that before you even joined the show.
Yeah. Well, I heard that she had some plans for me, which says, like, look, I think every one of my castmates knows, and she did not like me before I even came on.
Got it.
And I don't want to say too much because, like, I don't want to start, anything that's like, but I don't think I ever stood a chance with her. Let me just put
Okay.
it that way.
Okay. So Lisa was on Watch Robin's Live after the premiere, and she was asked about what
Well, let me back up for 1 second. I heard some things she said about me, and I thought, how does she even know my name? She's not from Salt Lake. Why is she talking about me? I'm not even on the show. So she obviously knew who I was before
Got
I
it.
came on.
Got
So,
it.
and had some things to say that got back to me. So I know
Okay.
that for a fact. It's fact-based commentary that was made. And it really doesn't matter because, like I said, I don't really care what she thinks about me. I'm here and I have my friends on the show.
Right.
Too bad.
And
Her loss.
I'm curious what your reaction was to Lisa on Watch What Happens Live saying when she was asked about the mafia comment and that sort of accusation that came up last season. And she said that Meredith doesn't owe you an apology because it was Monica who brought it up. What was your reaction to that?
Lisa knows good and well. And we had a conversation, Lisa and I, that they were both involved in off-camera conversations about that topic.
Okay.
So, when you go in the dark, it never comes out on camera, but we all know that conversation was had off camera. And I'll say it again, the scapegoat is gone. So now she can ask for her apology. She can deny involvement in any of the negative commentary and conversation and just kind of what she does. She does it in the dark. And then, but, she's starting to do it in the light more now. So I think,
Okay.
We'll see that too.
Right. All right, so let's talk about the end of that premiere, Angie, which was like, I had to watch it a couple of times because first of all, the editing was so good, and it was just sort of like, it was sort of just watching a tennis match back and forth in different angles on the table. You told, I watched your interview with Bryce Sander at ET, and you said that you felt as if there was sort of like a conversation that had been had before that dinner about sort of like coming for Whitney, whether that was Heather, Lisa, and Meredith all together. Can you explain why you felt that, or like, was there evidence for that, or was that sort of like a gut feeling that you had?
Just my intuition. It felt like they all got on the same page. They were all sitting on the same side, and they all had a lot of the same accusations. Liar. They were all coming at her with things that some of them, had already done. Talked about other people's marriages, and for certain people throw that out there when they've been doing that for 5 years. So it just felt like they were all on the same page. It's like they all of a sudden like lined up and went at war against Whitney. And, especially because Lisa and, I know Lisa and Heather are in a good place now, but because Lisa and Heather had been in such a bad place, like how are they suddenly like on the same team, firing at the new enemy together? So it felt that way. It felt like a gang up. I witnessed it from the same side that Whitney witnessed it from. So I could just feel the intensity. And yeah, it definitely felt like there was a phone call had, and I love the girls, but it felt that way to me.
Okay. And then you've said several times that like you brought Lisa's grievances over the Whitney's podcast appearance to Whitney because you wanted Whitney to apologize to Lisa and be aware of it for that reason.
Yeah.
How did you feel about how that sort of played out in actuality of like how it all kind of came out? Because
it was just funny. And then when they flashed the scene of the doorbell ringing and me at Whitney's, it's like, here's the culprit. And it was funny because, we don't see everything, but I was not bringing any new information forward. The podcast had come out. Lisa was already angry. Lisa had already taken to social media and the press to make commentary and respond to it. So everyone was aware of how Lisa felt at this point. So I didn't really go behind and say anything that Whitney didn't know. One thing I did say that hasn't aired yet, and maybe it will, and it was in that scene, was you probably shouldn't have done it and you owe her an apology. It was the wrong way to go about it. You should have told her how you really feel in person and worked it out. Now you've gone on the podcast and it's going to bite you in the butt. So I had good intentions and I am between them. And Lisa told me a lot about how she felt, and I was just hoping they could reconcile, but it's not like I told Whitney something horrible that Lisa said about her. And number two, it wasn't new information. I was playing with what was already out there in the field. So
Right.
I don't do that. And I think I've been a really good friend to Lisa and held tight, our off-camera conversations.
So do you feel like Lisa's strong reaction to that? Do you
Oh,
feel like that was like because of how it sort of came out at that dinner in sort of a mangled way, or do you feel like she was like looking for an issue with you?
she thought I was looking for an issue with her, and the
Got
way that
it.
she was lunging at me. I mean, I'm the one being accused of being a gangster in the mafia, and like she was lunging at me and coming at me hard, raising her voice, pointing, accusing me of like having started this shitstorm. And I just thought, what? Sit down. What are you doing? Like, I don't want to have to match your energy, so sit down and calm down. And it felt like she was automatically assuming the worst of me and
Sure.
assuming that I had done something. And that's kind of an issue that I have and I'll continue to have with her throughout the season is like she doesn't assume the best of me. And that says a lot. Like I've worked hard to be her friend and to be loyal and for her not to just assume that I wouldn't do something to hurt her, that hurts me. So it's a lot of time put into a relationship when someone just thinks automatically that like you're a bad person and that you're trying to hurt them.
Yeah, it was sad to see as somebody again who like likes both of you guys and you've had a friendship that we've seen in the past two seasons. It was sad to see that like there was such a quick shift. I feel like in that is clearly going to sort of put your friendship off on like the wrong foot for the rest of the season and to now. Like that it happened very quickly. It really did.
Yeah, and one thing I will tell you, Gibson, is Mary, Heather, and Whitney don't make me prove myself as a friend, and they don't send question things that I say. Like I had shared something with Mary, for example, and I said, "Look, this is how it happened. I promise." She goes, "Angie, don't even say I promise. Like I know who you are. You don't even need to say that to me. I know you don't lie. I know you're telling the truth, and you never have to like preface a conversation with that." And I thought, wow, that just was so. It
Yeah.
was like I felt a sense of relief that I didn't have to prove who I was or my friendship. And that's
Yeah.
how a real friendship should be. Like, I don't want to be under like a magnifying glass always of someone assuming that like they're waiting for me to make one false move or they're looking for me to do something.
Yeah, totally. And you guys going into the premiere day, you all got into this like Twitter spat that things were flying, clips were posted, people
Yeah.
were replying. It was a lot. But Lisa did reply to your Mystery Man in Park City comment with saying it's John. She posted a video on TikTok. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, I'm not on TikTok. I literally just got a TikTok yesterday. My daughter's opened it
Well,
for me.
all it was a video of John and saying that this is the Mystery Man in Park City. And she also said that the Park City guy, and I think to page 6, she said this, that like it's a guy that she was involved in a lawsuit with. It wasn't a mystery man. What were you insinuating there that you can elaborate on, if anything?
Well, and this is hard. I'm not insinuating anything. There was no negative insinuation. There was just a fact-based um, something out there that's a court document that says that she and I mean it's out there. I hate to like repeat negative stuff, but that she has owes someone for a credit card that she has made charges on that they opened for her. I didn't say there was any strings attached or anything
Got
like
it.
that. I just said, well, like, yeah, I do pay for these lips. And let me just tell you, like, there was no need for the two of those girls to gang up on me. I responded with a very funny, my clapbacks will be about me.
Right.
I don't go at people like Greeks are known to be great dancers. Opa, I'm going to add it to my scroll. Yeah, I said I danced my way to center stage. So who's the backup dancer now, right? It's like I didn't say that, but I could have, and now I'm saying it. And I guess for me, it's like, look, I hope we all get to stand a turn to stand in the center.
Yeah.
We deserve it. But for me, I made it about me. It was fun. It was funny. And then they kept it going and tried to like attack something, and they think they're embarrassing and humiliating me. And it's like, you're not, like to me, it's obvious that it's like the Battle of Thermopylae. It takes thousands of people to take out one Greek. So they obviously feel like we can't do this without the two of us ganging up on her. And, I'm not into people ganging up on, and it's the same thing that happened at the dinner. And if, they just pick up the phone. I responded in a funny, light way, and they had to take it to the next level. And from there, I'll admit I got heated, emotions, get high, and I then responded. And, that's what happens. And that's why Twitter's not good. And that's why I'm not on it a lot, to be truthful.
And
So
yeah, and Angie,
first of all, can I just add, why is Lisa even like, putting herself in the middle of something that she was not supposed to be involved in the first place? So I'm so confused why she interjected into that. It had nothing to do with her. So she just wants me to feel ganged up on, and that's what she does. And you know what? I can fight them off by myself. I'm not afraid.
We see in the second episode that you have a sit down, and you basically say that like you've seen this movie before, and everyone's expected to agree with Lisa, and she kind of says the same thing about you. She says like she needs to stop trying to convince people to think exactly like her. So you're kind of both like thinking the same way about each other, I guess. And it doesn't seem good. She walks out of this lunch or this drinks that you guys have. Is that just more of the same to come? Is that what we're going to see? There's no, like, are there going to be any good moments between you guys this season? Or is it
that there really was no resolve. That was not very rewarding. I think it's like we both left there spinning our wheels. And I hated that. I was hoping to leave with some resolve. I think there's a couple good moments ahead. Yeah, you will see some good moments. It's just a little bit of a roller coaster for us, and maybe we're both strong personalities, and we don't want to, have a hard time looking at ourselves. And like, I'm open to feedback if I've done something, but also, when you hurt people along the way, and maybe we both have hurt each other, and that's why you hope for reconciliation at the reunion. I will say though, I thought we were in a good place. So last week with the Twitter thing, someone told me she unfollowed me. They saw it on Twitter. I didn't. And then she came at me with Meredith. So I don't really understand what she's doing. I'm confused. I thought we were sort of in a decent place about a month ago, because I did check in on her after, she was making headlines. I thought it would be wrong of me not to. So I sent a nice little check-in. I started our interviews and she was fine. And now all this. So I don't know, but yeah, I'm confused. And but it's telling.
I guess it's the tough thing of like when your jobs are hard because you have to film all this, wait a while, watch it all back on TV, and it all just gets relitigated. And it's like, that can't be easy for any of you guys. So maybe it's just all.
The worst thing I've done is repeat something that she had already seen online. Then I guess I'm a really horrible person.
You're not a horrible person. You're not a horrible person, Angie. Don't worry.
In her eyes.
Got it. Well, Angie, we're obviously at the very beginning of this season. So, we're going to see a lot of hijinks, I think, from you and Mary. It seems like you guys are going to bring the humor. There's a lot to come with you and Lisa, obviously. What else can you tease in terms of what's to come in this apparently amazing season 5? It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I keep saying this, but it's like the entire cast contributes. There is,
I agree.
Everyone's talked in. There's great energy. Everyone was, the friendships are growing. To me, I've watched season 1 recently because I had never really fully watched it since I'd been on. And it's like, wow, everyone has evolved so much. And I think what you see where you get seasoned housewives is they evolve. And, myself being on for 3 years, I've evolved. I think friendships strengthen. People are more, you see more of them. People are more of themselves, they become more vulnerable. So I just feel like the cast has really evolved, and it's been, you see that the newbies are all clocking in, and they're great. They're bringing a lot of drama. They, you saw Brittany just starting fights with little comments that she was just totally clueless about. And then they just blew everything up. And she does that a lot through the season.
It seems like it.
She says things that just put people through the roof, but then she's completely clueless why they're offended. So, but you know what? Hey, it makes for a great show because she's bringing content that we had no idea.
Angie, last question for you. I think we've talked a little bit at the beginning and trying to throw out about how like you've really kind of increased your. I feel like you've leaned in more over the years, and you've really felt more comfortable in this show, and obviously to a point where like you're right in there with a lot of the OGs. And I'm curious if there was like a moment for you where you first felt more at ease, or first felt really kind of like, okay, I'm in this. You know what I mean? I'm curious when that came for you.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. The finale was interesting because Heather said something that really just kind of made me feel emotional. She said, I don't know if you realize this, but we are a group of real friends. And I just I felt a part of it because I have feelings for the ladies. I mean, I've known Heather since high school, so I have history.
Yeah.
When I have friends, I love those friends. I bring them into my family. I bring them into my life, and I love hard. So when she said that, I thought, you know what, we are, and I am a part of this, and I deserve to be here. I know who I am. I know what I've contributed to the season, and hearing that, it's that's what the show is about, is real friends.
Yeah, and that was a true moment to bring you all together in a different way, I felt. So that was special to you. I mean, it was obviously a tough moment, but also that's a special aspect of a silver lining, if you will.
Yeah, it was. It's like women supporting women. Yeah, we go through hard times, but there's a time to draw the line. And even what you said at the beginning is we feel safe with each other. There's bad moments, but we feel safe. There's nothing dark, nothing threatening. We actually know if we needed to, we'd have each other's backs.
Yeah. Well, Angie, I think that's we're probably going overtime now, but
no, it's okay. I could talk to you all day.
I know. Angie, thank you so much for being so generous with your time.
I brought you a hat because I thought it was in person, but I'll send it to you.
Yeah, thank you. I'll rock the Greek Mafia hat any day of the week. So, Angie, thank you so much,
Thanks.
and we'll talk again soon.
Okay, good to see you.
You too. I want to gab.